Hello and welcome to a webinar for the new Inspired Home Show that's entitled Learn How to Bring Buyers and Media to Your Booth. We know your time is valuable, but I think what we have to share today with you over the next 45 minutes to an hour is well worth your investment. So thank you for your time and participation. Our objective today is to really share those tools and resources that are available to you so you can try to maximize your investment in the show and ensure success. My name is Jon Jesse, and I am Vice President for Industry Development for the International Housewares Association. With me today are Nancy Michael, Senior Manager of Trade Show Business Development, as well as Debbie Teschke, Senior Manager of Public Relations and Communication. You'll see our contact information on the screen right now. Don't worry about taking that down right now because it will be at the end as well. During the webinar today, if you do have questions, we would certainly encourage you to ask them. Please use the chat function to submit your questions if you do have them along the way. We will also let you know that this is being recorded and will be posted to our website within 24 hours, so you can access it at that time. You'll also be receiving an email with a link to this webinar that you can use to reference or to share with your colleagues. So real quickly, obviously I think mostly everyone knows that this is no longer the International Home and Houseware Show. It's the new Inspired Home Show. We just thought we'd take a moment and share with you the objective behind that. This is now a show that really is not only just renamed and rebranded, but really it's all about reimagining the show. The show historically, whether it was the International Houseware Show or the International Home and Houseware Show, really was built and focused around kind of basics and functionality. But we believe right now that it has to evolve into what is really more lifestyle and inspirational. And that's really in line with really where the consumer is going, who's driving a lot of the industry, as well as what our retail community is doing as well. So therefore, the Inspired Home Show. With that comes a new website that you can see on the screen right now with the address of theinspiredhomeshow.com. That is different than in prior years. In prior years, housewares.org, which is our member site, was also the location for the show website as well. This year, everything will be done under the inspiredhomeshow.com. Housewares.org will remain as the member site, which speaks to all the other activities and member services that IHA has to offer. But today we're going to be talking about the inspiredhomeshow.com. So heading into the show, what can the show provide for you? Obviously, it is the biggest show of its kind in the world, certainly within the country for these categories of business, with the objective of obviously trying to find new customers, certainly reaching international markets. We are known as a top-to-top show and building those top-to-top retail relationships, as well as generating customer interest through media exposure. But it's really important as we head into the show that you plan accordingly for all those opportunities that take place before the show, during the show, and post-show. And most of the resources that are available to you are free, which we want to take you through today. So to give you a little outline of the agenda for today's webinar, we're going to start by talking about how do you attract both buyers and media to the show and to your booths. Secondly, using really what is our primary tool for you to share your content with the retail community, and that is Housewares Connect 365, otherwise known as HC 365. And then lastly, really reaching the consumer by utilizing consumer news media. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nancy Michael to talk about accessing the online marketing kit.
Good afternoon. At this point, you should have received a physical paper copy of the marketing kit to your office. If you have not, that's okay. All the detail is on the inspiredhomeshow.com. I'm just going to kind of take you through a few things so you know how to get to the marketing kit, and you can see on the screen. Up on the top, you select exhibit, and that menu will drop down. Incidentally, this menu's been updated a bit, so there's other things on there that you're going to want to use during your preparedness for the show. As you can see right under the marketing kits, the exhibitor services manual, that's going to become a very important tool for you as you get your booth set up, finished up, whatnot. You'll need that. But for now, we're going to concentrate on the marketing kit, and that is how you get there. Once you select that, this is everything kind of mimics the physical kit. They're meant to be used together, but again, you don't need the physical kit in order to complete all the tasks here. But everything's pretty well organized in terms of attracting buyers, attracting media, all the things you need to know about how to gain exposure for yourself at the show. So a lot of the tasks that you go to sign up for, this is going to be the first page you see. This is the sign-in link to your exhibitor portal, also known as your exhibitor checklist. So you'll need your email and your password in order to access a lot of the services offered in the marketing kit, so just be aware of that. You're going to see this screen a couple times during this presentation. And then once you get through your password, you're going to be at your exhibitor checklist. And if you haven't spent any time on here, I would recommend that you do spend some time. The left-hand navigation is going to have lots of stuff on there as well, including another link to the exhibitor services manual. But it's going to have all your tasks on there that are relevant to what's happening now, what's current in terms of getting things done, gaining exposure, lead retrieval, all sorts of things. And we're going to cover what we can today on that.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. So now that we've figured out how to get to the marketing kit, we want to really talk about what are those things that we can do to attract buyers to your booth and to the show. And we're going to break this up into three components. Those programs that take place before the show, those that take place during the show, and then the post-show follow-up. And something, and you'll hear this throughout the presentation today, that we want to continue to reiterate is most of these are free that you should be taking advantage of. Okay, so attracting buyers, first of all, before the show. You should have, if you're not aware of it already, the opportunity to access last year's buyer list. Last year's buyer list is available, and it's in an Excel format. So most everyone's familiar with how to use Excel, so you do know that it is sortable by multiple different headings, certainly by retail channel, by responsibility, by classification, product code, etc. You can download that list from your exhibitor checklist. Something to reiterate, as much as we continue to ask the retail community to allow email addresses, the feedback we get is they do not want this at this time, but we'll continue to ask. So certainly, obviously, try to be creative in terms of how you market the show and your efforts to your booth. Okay, so once you're in the exhibitor portal, this is a screen that shows how to download the buyers and media list. Again, pretty straightforward. You'll see in the blue across the top the three links that are available for both U.S. buyers, the non-U.S. buyers, as well as news media. So that's where you can access those Excel spreadsheets for marketing before the show. At this point, we want to make sure you're aware of some of the warnings that we put out and that are accessible to you relative to how to manage everything heading into the show. This one specifically speaks to being aware of solicitations that want to sell you buyer lists. And as much as I think you probably know it, our buyer lists are free to all our exhibiting members, which is just what we went through. You will receive probably solicitations. We get them here at the office from various organizations that want to try to sell you our list. Obviously, you don't want to do that since they are free, as we just went through. And if you have the time and you want to forward that information on to us for follow-up, that's okay as well, but just please be aware of that. So with that, we're going to turn it over to Nancy to talk about, again, Housewares Connect 365.
So we're going to spend a little bit of time on Housewares Connect. This is our, for all intensive purposes, your online directory. This is where buyers and media and often consumers will go to search products, see what's new. There's a lot of searchability function on this site. So I'm going to take you through what you need to do and then what your work will produce and what the buyers and the media actually see. And this is a free tool. So why should you use it? You're going to see from your sales manager, so we've got a pretty active push going on to make sure that you populate your profile. Last year, more than 300,000 searches were conducted on this. I mentioned consumers. Our SEO search is very well positioned in terms of searching. So you get a lot of consumers who search brands, and often we appear at the top of those search pages. So just be conscientious of that, you know, in terms of proprietary information and what you're putting up there. We do know that listings of catalogs and product images are viewed much more frequently than those that don't have any of that on there. So I'm not going to take a lot of time on this slide because we're going to actually hit all of these kind of verbatim. So just an overview of everything that, all the information you can deposit into your profile page. The other thing about this is that the HC365 feeds our mobile app, so that's available, will be available probably in the next couple of weeks before the first of the year. So it's only going to pull for our printed directory your company name and your booth number and your brands and your licenses. But in terms of attendees using it on site, it's going to have your whole listing on there. So you want to just make sure it's up to date and ready to go. Okay, so again, if you go back to your theinspiredhomeshow.com, right there at the top again, and you hit your exhibit, at the very end of this list is update your company profile. And this is where you're going to go in, select that, and it's going to take you to your sign-in page again. And then once it takes you into your sign-in page, you're going to see up top, exhibit, theinspiredhomeshow.com, exhibit, and then update your company profile. But once you get into it, it's going to take you right to the task bar that we want you to use in order to get in to populate all your information. Sometimes the sign-in will just take you to that full checklist that John reviewed earlier. But in many cases on the marketing kit, we've just done a direct redirect to the task we want you to deal with. So once you hit on that update for buyers, you're going to be presented with all the different tasks that need to be completed on your company profile. If you read the tip of the week, which I hope you are because there's a lot of important information in there, we've started a campaign, so every week we'll give you the tasks that you should complete that week. However, you don't need to wait for those. The sooner you start populating your profile and the more complete it is, we know that the buyers and media especially are on this site all year long. So you don't have to wait, but you'll notice that we are starting to push out stuff for HC365 and populating your profile. Okay, there's a couple of things you need to know. So a lot of people try to put up their whole catalog, and in some cases that's just not, it doesn't work for the person trying to download it. So 1 megabyte is best, and that'll open quickly. So a lot of times you need to kind of divide up your catalog. Catalogs must be in PDF format. You can't have symbols in your file name. It won't take it. Again, the catalog thing to upload separately so they download fast. And then product images need to be in JPEG or GIF. Okay, so another warning notice, important warnings. And just as a note, that is on that same drop-down menu we've been discussing. All the warnings, it'll take you to all of them. But this one is about the fair guide or the expo guide. Generally comes in a very official-looking envelope, and it, you know, talks about how it's a global. This is all, you know, a scam. But if you sign it, you've signed a contract, and it's several $1,000s that you're on the hook for. So just be aware of this. We don't sell our lists, so these, and I don't know where they distribute this, but just be aware. Okay, So you've now gone in, you've populated your HC365 company profile page, and now we're going to show you what the buyers and the media see on the other side of it. So when they're going to conduct a search, in this case we're going to use Dexis as our exhibitor example. So you're going to hit a keyword search. They're going to hit a keyword search generally, and it's going to take you to Dexis, and then once you hit that, it's going to show you, it's going to bring you to their records specifically. Most people do more of a general search, but you can do it on brands and licenses and company name. There's a whole list of things you can search on. So it's going to show you your booth number, if you've got photos and catalogs, if you have video. This one isn't updated, but if you're part of our specialty retailer program, which we'll get into, and a little later in the presentation. And then buyers and media can create a briefcase, so they can actually save information, and that will allow them to use that on the show site. They just log into their briefcase. Okay, so then this is kind of what the profile page will look at like once they get to once they've found what they're looking for. And just to note, we go back one. Just a note on the top there, so say you're reviewing your profile and you don't like what you're seeing, or you need to change something, or there's a mistake, you can access it right from there. It's again going to take you into your sign-in page, but it's just a convenience tool there when you're reviewing your profile. Okay, so then you'll see again, there's your company logo, your company address and contact, your booth number, your logo if you have one, put it up there, your company name, all the stuff that you would want to have in a description so people can find you pre or post show. Then it's a long listing, so we have to break it up on the slides. But there's your video, the first slide. And just so you know, you have to use your full YouTube address on here in order for it to accept it. And then there's a place for your company product images and video and your categories, which is very important as buyers usually are buying a certain category. And then any events you might be holding or demonstrations. And then your brands and licenses. Now, these actually get pulled into the directory. So a lot of times there'll be a company name that people aren't familiar with, but they're definitely familiar with the brand. So they can search for that, and that will also be alphabetized in the directory so people can do a quick reference. So this is new this year, featured new product descriptions for news media and buyers. This will also be searchable for new. Everyone's always looking for new. It's a little bit of a different format. Debbie's going to get into this a little bit more when we're on the media piece, but you can see it's a different format. You can put really good descriptions in there. We highly encourage you to fill out this information because this, I think, will be a big search for this year. Okay, so just to recap, HC365 is the tool that buyers and media use. They use it to identify new and innovative products, and they also use it to find stories or editorials, so like if you have an event, for instance, or a demonstration. Okay, so now we're going to go on how they would search it. So there's the keyword. So they're going to throw in something they want to search. And there's like the drop-down list of everything that's available for them to search. And then we're going to, whoops. So now you've searched, you've got your company, and now you're building a briefcase. This is basically what building the briefcase looks like. And it's going to divide it up for you by North Hall, South Hall, and Lakeside Center. We're just using these first two as examples. So they've gone in and they've selected the companies they want to see. and then it's going to produce for you floor maps, or for them rather, and then it's going to go ahead and map out all of those companies. And you're looking at a schematic of South Hall. So in South Hall, it's going to give you all the places you want to visit, and just so you can map out your shopping trip. Okay, so Exhibiting Marketing Kit is going to offer a lot of services. And now we're going to kind of go into what you could be doing during the show. This should all be done before the show, but can be updated anytime, during, before, after the show. It's used 365 days a year. Media constantly goes back to this site, so just be aware and make sure you're keeping it up to date. So now we're going to talk a little bit about sponsorships. Traditionally, we don't offer a lot of sponsorships. The Housewares Association is a not-for-profit. We always get a lot of questions and people who want to participate. So in the marketing kit on the website, it'll describe everything you get, what the costs are, et cetera. We wanted to bring your attention to it because the prices range from very little to very large. So take a look at that if you want to get your name out there during the show.
And as everyone knows, the number one question for buyers and retailers all the time is what's new when they go to the show. The best way to exhibit what's new in addition to certainly what's new at your booth is to participate in the new product showcases. The new product showcases are in the buyers clubs, which are in each one of the expos, North, South, and Lakeside. What happens here is if you submit product for the new product showcases, the buyers have an opportunity to go into the buyers clubs where this showcase is located. They have an opportunity to grab a scanner and then go through all the product that's located there. There are signs with barcodes that allow them to scan what they're interested in. And then after the show, the buyers will receive an entire listing via email the week after the show of what they scanned at the show and with the contact information at your company. And then in addition to that, you will receive information on all the product and the retailers that had scanned your product, and this will have emails associated with it. So it's a good opportunity really to get new product out in front of the buyers and get that contact information. Excuse me. If you'll notice the fourth bullet point here, just something to point out, 500 million consumer impressions. Nearly 45% of the companies participating in the new product showcases have been featured in print and TV coverage of the show. So product that goes into the new product showcases really gets picked up quite frequently for both TV coverage, print coverage, and all types of media, so very important. This is one of the few items that does have a cost associated with it, but it's a cost that we think is very worthwhile to get in front of the retailers. Because the other thing that happens is when you do pay for this, your product in the new product showcases automatically gets entered and becomes eligible for the Industry Awards program, which is called GIA, which stands for the Global Innovation Awards. The Global Innovation Awards are representative of 14 different categories throughout the show. Prior to the show and up until like the day before, the final judging is done. It's done by a professional panel of judges between both media, industry affiliates, and retailers. And then they are announced at the GIA Awards dinner and gala on Saturday night of the show. What's important to be aware of this year is because of the rebranding and reimagining of the show under the Inspired Home Show, a lot of things are happening over and above just the exhibitor-buyer relationships within each of the expos. A lot of that value-added programs that are offered at the show, whether it be in education, whether it be in the Lakeside lobby, or in this particular case, the Grand Concourse. A lot of areas are being relocated to be in high traffic areas, and this is one of those. So the GIA Awards for all the different categories, all the finalists are going to be represented within the Grand Concourse lobby, so which is a change from last year. So if you have an opportunity to get into the new product showcases, become GIA eligible, your product as a finalist will be represented in the Grand Concourse lobby. So really important. In addition to that, I talked about the other added value programs that are being relocated under the Inspired Home Show. One of those is the Pantone Color Watch, which is one of the most frequented area for retailers at the show. The Pantone Color Watch display is Pantone's opportunity to introduce to the industry the new color of the year. This traditionally has been a display that's been located in the Lakeside lobby, and just like GIA is now being relocated to the Grand Concourse area, so a high traffic area. As an exhibitor, you have an opportunity at no cost, if your product is appropriate, to apply the new color, submit it to Pantone, and Pantone will on-site determine what goes into their particular display. If your product is chosen for the Pantone display, it will be designated with your booth and location within this display. So again, free opportunity, great opportunity to get fashion-forward, color-related product within a high-traffic area of the show.
So lead retrievals are available to you for free. I think we're probably one of the only shows that does this. There is a limited amount. However, there are two options you can choose from, a tablet or a scanner, which is also part of a phone application. You get 2 licenses with the one we provide. This is another great way to collect email addresses. We consider this a business card exchange, so you should be able to retrieve more information through the lead retrieval. We had about 34,000 booth visits recorded last year. And again, like John said, anybody you scan post-show, they'll get an email with all the companies they were visited, and then you'll get a list as well with everybody you scanned. So it's a great program. You can sign up for this right through the marketing kit, and I highly encourage you to do it before they're gone. So we also offer an order form here. A lot of times people think that the show is not an order writing show, and in some cases for some of the bigger companies it might not be, but for a lot of the companies it is, and it's an important part of the show, and often people come unprepared. So make sure you have your order writing materials with you, and we just provide a template in case you don't have anything. Also, there's lots of opportunities to order signage. New for the home signs, definitely if you've got new products, like John said earlier, that's what people are always looking for. These signs are unlimited in quantity. You can go online and order as many as you'd like, and they'll be delivered to you on Friday before the show. The Made in the USA and the smart home products, you'll find that when you go to update your company profile and the special marketing opportunities. As long as you follow the criteria, we don't police it. We do provide federal guidelines for the Made in USA. If you don't follow those guidelines, do not select it. Our buyers do not like it when they're seeking out Made in the USA and then they get to your booth and basically it's not what they consider Made in the USA, so just be aware of that. Same with smart homes, a pretty nice growing category for the show, so if you've got smart products, please make sure you sign up for that. And then the no photography signs, we really encourage you to do this. You know, it's on you to police your booth to keep anybody who's trying to photograph your products, etc. But these signs can help, and they're in 3 different languages, and you can get that right through the Exhibitor Services Manual. This is what I was talking about earlier on the Made in the USA and the Smart Home. We tell you right where to go to get to them, and then you just click on the box, and then you'll go on a list, and they'll be delivered to you on Friday before the show.
I want to take a moment and talk about what is one of the bigger initiatives from a buyer recruiting perspective for the show this year. We believe that the independent retailers are one of the biggest opportunities and areas of growth for us with IHA and to drive additional attendees to the show and to your booths. In fact, we believe it's so important to do that we're creating an event on the day before the show opens on Friday afternoon, that's going to be exclusive to independent retailers called Independence Day. Independence Day is going to be an afternoon education and networking sessions where we'll have speakers, presentations, panelists that are being brought in specifically to speak to independent retailers in terms of how to be successful in today's retail environment. To do that successfully, we need to obviously approach the independent retailer a little bit differently. Therefore, what we're doing is we're encouraging you as exhibitors, and we're actually putting an emphasis on, through the marketing kit, there's a full page in the marketing kit, is how to be prepared for independent retailers through what we're calling the independent retailer program. What the independent retailer program for you is an opportunity to designate that you're an independent friendly retailer and that you want independent retailers to come to your booth. So what's encompassed in all of that is if you complete this information, which we'll show you how to get there in a moment, you'll have the opportunity to have independent friendly signage in your booth. You'll get a special listing in HC365 as well as the mobile app. We're going to put a special area in the printed directory that highlights independent friendly exhibitors, and then you'll be included in pre-show marketing specifically that designates who are the exhibitors at the show that are independent friendly. So if that's something that is important to you, we would highly encourage you to follow the following process to designate your company as being independent friendly. So what you want to be able to do is to be able to go and update your company profile. This screen was shown earlier in terms of how to get to those updates that show the listing within your company profile. So if you get to here and click on update your profile, you'll see about 3/4 of the way highlighted here in red. Let independents know you welcome them and their business. Through that area within the portal, you'll be able to designate and sign up for the information we just discussed. Okay, so that takes us through those things that take place before the show, during the show, and then what we want to do is highlight real quickly after the show, the one component that's really important. We talked about downloading buyer lists for recruiting pre-show. Well, now you have that same opportunity after the show to get the buyer list from the 2020 show. So sometime in the month of April, you'll be receiving an email that the buyer list has been cleaned up and ready for you to access. So this is free again to all our exhibiting companies. So you can anticipate after the show getting that email, so you can target those retailers who you may not have been able to access at the show with their contact information. Now we're going to shift into the third area we want to talk about, which talks about attracting the news media, which is Debbie's area of expertise. So go ahead, Debbie.
Thank you, John. The Inspired Home Show attracts over 500 million consumer impressions in the news media, in the consumer media. The 2019 show generated this much attention, and we anticipate even more for 2020. And my job is to help you be part of that coverage. And so we offer several services that we encourage you to take advantage of that can help you get this exposure. Now, you may wonder, what is a consumer impression? And that is basically, we take for any print coverage we get, we take the subscription numbers for that. For broadcast coverage, we take any Nielsen viewer numbers. For online coverage, any viewership or readership numbers that are available, and then we just add all those numbers up, and that is how we come up with our consumer impression number. Some of you may work with an advertising agency or a PR agency, and some of them use a multiplier of 3 because they figure that magazines or newspapers are passed around, or more people are watching a TV broadcast, and so they kind of do a multiplier. Ours are pure numbers, and as you can see, we do get a lot of coverage. And yesterday I was going through and looking at some updated numbers, and it did exceed 500 million for this year. And this is year-round. It's not just the 4 days of the show. This is coverage that we will get in March, April, May, June. Some articles even appear in the fall. So we want you to be a part of that and to help you get to the consumer. So in the marketing kit, these are the services we'll be talking about. That is the printed page that you see in the printed material. It lists everything, but all of the details are on the website. And so to get there, again, you'll go to the inspiredhomeshow.com, And when you click on Marketing Kit, and the Marketing Kit page comes up, click on Attract Media, and then it'll take you to all of our services. The first one I want to talk about is our Show Preview Plus event. And this is a pre-show event that we hold in New York City every year. This year it's going to be January 30th. And it's an opportunity for you to jumpstart your PR efforts and meet with consumer and trade media in a very relaxed, smaller setting. It's limited to 60 exhibitors, and you have to have assigned space to participate. We usually get around 60 to 70 consumer and trade media, bloggers and influencers, and they come and they walk around and they'll stop by your table and talk with you about your product and ask you to demonstrate it. Some of our past attendees at our event last year were the Wall Street Journal, the Today Show, Business Insider, Good Housekeeping, HGTV Magazine, and sometimes some of these media, they can't come to Chicago. So this is their opportunity to see your products. I have 25 tables left. There is an entry fee, to help us cover the cost of holding the event, but companies that have participated over the years have loved it. Some have been included in Oprah's favorite lists during the year because the editors saw them at our press event. So I encourage you to participate. Again, there's 25 tables left out of 60, so sign up today to guarantee your table. And the deadline is December 20th. That is to sign up. I mean, if the event sells out before that, we'll close down the website, but I encourage you to sign up as soon as you can. Okay, next is the media registration list. And again, as Jon said, it's free and it's on the page with the buyer list, and we encourage you to download this list and use it to create your pitching list before the show. A lot of the same media come every year, and so we want you to take a look at it and select the media and the publications that you think would be of interest to your product. Honestly, not everybody is interested in every product out there, so we don't want you spamming them. So take a look, and we tell you what kind of media are, whether they're consumer media, trade media, bloggers, or social media influencers. So you can pick and choose who you want to pitch to. Again, you go to the exhibitor portal to download it, and then the pre-registered list for 2020 will be posted in mid-February. So I encourage you to go back to the site and then download that list, because these are the people who have signed up for the show, and you know that they'll be there, and then you can start pitching them about what you're going to be, events and products that you'll have this year. Okay, the Traveling Media Tour is another way for you to get to the consumers across the country. This is one of the few services that you do have to pay for, but it's very cost-effective and a valuable service. It is a little bit pricey. It's $12,500 for the 10 to 12 cities that we go to. The tour goes into the TV studio, and basically, if you're watching your morning news or your noon news and you see segments about people talking about new products that are coming out, maybe for Christmas, for the holidays, everybody's doing gift guides. Our segment is just like that, but it's a preview of the new products debuting at the show, and we do it about 2 weeks before the show. We go into studios, about 10 to 15 cities across the country, including we've done Los Angeles, Dallas, New York, Arizona, and we have our reporter goes in there with the products. It's limited to 6 to 8 companies, so it's very, very select, and it's provided by a third-party vendor. And your products you will have category exclusivity based on your product features. So if you have cookware and it's stackable or it's space-saving, your exclusivity would be that way, not on the features of maybe it has some properties that help it cook food faster. I encourage you to contact the vendor if you're interested. We have about 5 spots left, so please, talk to her. And if you think that the $12,500 is a lot of money, she will work with you on, some smaller packages that maybe you don't go in every market. And last year's tour, the calculated publicity value was $236,000 for each exhibitor that participated. Okay. Now, some companies like to do online press kits, and right now IHA does not offer the capability for exhibitors to post an online press kit in your Housewares Connect 365 listing. So we have partnered with the Virtual Press Office and PR Newswire and to offer an online press room where you can purchase a press kit on there, and then we will market it to the media that have registered for the show, and also for VPO's list of media who sign up for their services. And if you want to go green, you say you don't want to do anything with paper, this is a great way to go. The kits stay up there up until probably next October when we start our new show cycle. So you will have a long shelf life with this. And they do offer several packages, so even the smallest company most likely to take advantage of this. And then VPO also offers news release distribution because they do own PR Newswire. So if you are interested in doing some wire distribution about your new product information, please talk with them. They have various packages available for that as well. Now I want to talk about the trade publications. You know, we talk a lot about the consumer media, but trade pubs are also very important to our exhibitors because this is how you tell the buyers coming to the show about your new products. So we have several services that can help you do this. First of all, on the website, we have a list of the editorial contacts for all of the trade publications that cover the industry. So you can take that list and then create your pitching list and send your new product information to them. Secondly is the new product news submission information. The trade publications want to know about your new products. This is a free editorial opportunity. Again, it's free. You do not have to pay for it. It's not advertising. The trade publications have listed their criteria for what they want in your submission, how the description, a photo, what size to make it, who to send it to, what categories they're looking for. So please review this list and take advantage of sending them your product information because, you know, they each do a pre-show issue, a show issue. 3 of the trade publications do show dailies, so they need a lot of product information, and the only way they can find out about it is if you send it to them. We also include the international trade publications up there, and that will help you get to the international buyers who attend the show. Their deadlines are earlier than some of the domestic publications, so I encourage you to go up there now and take a look and see when their deadlines are and get them your information. And again, this is all free. You don't pay for it. And then lastly, if you do want to purchase advertising in the publications, we do have a list of the advertising deadlines and the contacts for all of the publications and then the show dailies. As John mentioned, the most frequently asked question is what's new at the show. But the second most asked question I get is who's going to be there? What celebrities, what chefs, what special events are happening at the show? And our special event and product demonstration form is the way you will let them know about that. It goes in your Housewares Connect 365 listing, and here's where you can list your booth demonstrations, your special events for the media, your celebrity chef booth signings, and again, this is free, and you will do that through the Update Your Online Company profile in the exhibitor portal. And the deadline to do that, we ask, is March 13th, which is the day before the show. But the sooner you do it, the more the buyers will be able to search for that information and the news media as well. So now we come to this new service called Featured New Products for News Media and Buyers. And actually, this isn't a new service. We used to call it New Product Information for News Media, and it was limited to just the news media. But this year, we've opened it up so that the buyers can see these listings as well. And this is all free. You can enter as many listings as you have new products, and then you would categorize them by the category. You would select a category, and then that's how the media and the buyers will search for them in 365. And you know, with 300 of the exhibitors who submitted these listings were featured in our media coverage last year. And also, another benefit is this is how my PR team finds the new products that we pitch to the news media that we may use in the media coverage and the TV coverage. So I encourage you to submit this information. Again, it's free. And make sure you put a photo with it, because when the buyers and the media go to 365 and they do the search for the featured new products, the listings that come up with photos are clicked on and saved in briefcases more often than listings that aren't. And so this is where you go to enter these listings under Attract Media, click on the featured new products from news media and buyers, and then it'll take you to this landing page. And we outline here how we use this information, because when you go to the form, you're going to see several entries, and like we ask what the pricing is, when the product is available, how do you demonstrate the product. And all of that information is for my show PR team's use only. It does not go in the product description listing that the buyers and media will see in your 365 profile. So, but we ask for that information in case we do want to request the product and we do want to use it. So then you click, when you click the link, it takes you to the exhibitor portal, and then again, go in, click on Update Your Company Profile, and then the link at the bottom, Featured New Products for the News Media and Buyers. Now I want to talk about a few things during the show. We have a show news center, and then we also have a service for you if you'd like to do press release. The news center is the headquarters for the media attending the show. We get about 400 media from around the world. We get, consumer media, trade media, the international media, bloggers, and influencers. And we're located in the South Building in S401. And in the news center, we offer the opportunity for you to put out your press kits for free for the media to take. And we ask that you send us 75 to 100 kits. We put them up in clear plexi holders on that wall that you can see on the top photo. We list them alphabetically by companies, so it's very important that you put your company name on the front of the kit so the media know who they're looking at. Also, a photo of a product or your products is good too. And then we give the media boxes that they will pack up, and we will ship the kits back to their offices after the show for free so that they can have your information all year round. And the deadline to get me the kits, is the day before the show, March 13th. We have information on the website if you want to ship them to us at McCormick Place while we're there during move-in, or you can drop them off in the news center when you come to set up your booth. During move-in, I will be in the news center beginning the Wednesday before the show. So you say, Deb, I'm a small company. I want to do a press kit, but I don't know how to write a press release. I don't have a PR person. I don't work with an agency. So we have the My Press Release Writer service. And for just $99, you will get a very professionally written press release that is yours to own. You can post it on your website, print it on your letterhead for a printed press kit. If you purchase the online press kits with VPO, you can use it there. It's yours to use. It's very simple. You just answer a few questions about your company and your products, and within 48 hours, you will get a Word document back with your press release. And also, the vendor will do some media distribution for you for an additional fee, so you can talk with her about that as well. And a lot of our smaller exhibitors do take advantage of this service because it's a way for you to get your information. And even if you just have one press release in the press room for the media to take, that is a way to get your information to them, and they will know about you. Now I want to talk about the media that come to the show. And we classify the media in 4 different classifications. We have news media, which is your print, broadcast, and trade media. That's the traditional media that you know, like the TV stations, the morning news programs, the consumer lifestyle magazines like Real Simple, Good Housekeeping, Better Homes and Gardens, the newspapers, Chicago Tribune, the Sun-Times, and others that come. Then we have internet media, which are the news websites or internet-based only publications. And then we have bloggers. And bloggers are the mommy bloggers, the lifestyle bloggers, foodie bloggers. They would have 10,000 to 50,000 followers and subscribers to be a blogger. If they're under 10,000, then we may not give them credentials this year and ask them to kind of build up their following. And lastly, we have social media influencers, which have over 50,000 followers and subscribers, and these are usually your YouTube influencers. And on the show badges, it will say on the bottom, news media, internet media, bloggers, or social media influencers. So if someone comes into your booth with this type of badge, please talk with them. Please, work with them, give them your information. Now, at IHA, we've always said publicity is free, and if someone wearing a media badge asks you to pay for placement or to pay for a video or pay for coverage, that they aren't news media, they're a trade guest. And that is still the case for the news media and the internet media classifications. But in this new day of social media, bloggers and social media influencers kind of do it all. So if they talk to you about sponsorship or, from having a paid post on their blog, that is fine. We're not going to tell them they're not media. So, but let me know if someone does come to your booth and ask you to pay for any type of coverage. Now, if you don't have a PR agency and you would like to work with a PR agency, I have a list that I am happy to share with you, and everybody on this list I have worked with over the years, and they all know that I do this, and they're happy to work with our exhibitors and with all types of budgets. So please contact me and I will send you this list. Then last, after the show, at the same time that the buyer list is available, about 4 to 6 weeks after the show, we'll have the 2020 media list of everyone who registered for the show. And we encourage you to use this list to follow up with the media. Not everybody can get to every booth at the show, so contact the editors that you think would be interested in your products, and then also use this as your year-round pitch list. And also remember to update your 365 listing throughout the year with your new products, because I will get calls from the media in June or July asking about new products, and that's where I will send them.
Okay, a few housekeeping notes before we wrap up here. Book your housing today. The deadline for early bird hotel rates is December 31st. If you have not done this yet, I'd encourage you to get that done before the holidays. There's no cancellation fees or any of that. We've really aggressive, great package for our housing, so would like you to get that done if you haven't already. I want to just call your attention to hotel warnings. There's a lot of poachers out there. They might even say they're with our show, which they're not. The housing is all done through On Peak, which is our official housing partner. And again, I know exhibitors who've gotten caught in this web, and again, like seasoned exhibitors who have fallen into these poachers and cost them a lot of money. So be aware of that. Badge registration is open for all assigned exhibitors, so if you haven't gone and registered for your badges, I encourage you to get that done as well. New this year, we're not mailing badges. We're probably one of the only shows left who is doing that, and actually received a lot of feedback that people want to pick it up on site, like most other shows, so that is new. There'll be pickup locations at O'Hare Airport, in the International Terminal, and I think in Terminals 2 and 3. And then a bunch of the 3 major hotels is the Hyatt on Wacker Drive, the Hilton on Michigan Avenue, and there's a third one that's escaping me at the moment, but accessible to you. Oh, the Marriott. The Marriott on Michigan. And then at McCormick Place, obviously. So you'll need your ID, you'll get your barcode, you'll need that to get scanned. Really hard to pick up for other people, but if you need to do that, contact your sales manager. And then during the show, we always do an extension. The show officially closes at 5:30. However, we have our power hour, which allows you to work until 6:30 on the floor before they start turning on off lights and shooing you away. So we encourage you to schedule appointments up through 6:30 if possible.
And then one quick point of reference, for those of you who may not be familiar with this, the Ace Hardware Spring Convention is taking place at McCormick Place West and overlaps our show by 1 day. Their show will be the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and overlaps our Saturday at the beginning of the show, which actually is a benefit to the show and to you. Two things to think about as it relates to the ACE Spring Convention. Number one is they take up, because they have, I don't know the exact number, but thousands and thousands of people come to that show as well, both on the exhibitor side as well as their retailers, and they take up hotel space. So we would encourage you, to Nancy's point earlier, to get out there and book through OnPeak and get your hotel reservation. The second point, just as a point of reference with the ACE convention, is that we as an organization are working with ACE to ensure we try to maximize attendees and extend as many ACE retailers to attend our show as possible. So that's very much positive.
The Inspired Home, not to be confused with the Inspired Home Show. The Inspired Home we've launched about a few years ago, and then this is a consumer platform that we run here. And if you look on the slide in the middle there, it says the Inspired Home editorial calendar. So just like a magazine, we have editorial stories, laid out for a 12-month period. We really encourage you. This is free to any exhibiting member. So they'll often do a call for products. You submit your product. They send it to our network of bloggers who write for this site. They test it. They write about it. There's a spot on the Inspired Home platform for consumers to order your products. This is free. Please get involved in it. It's a great service. We've got a lot of happy exhibitors who've really seen some sales growth from this. Close to the show, we're getting about 1 million impressions. So it's pretty powerful. Excuse me, I encourage you to do that. Excellence in Booth Design Awards. We're in our 4th year with this. This has now been wrapped into the GIA Awards. You can sign up for it right through the marketing kit. We've got a team of expert judges who judge on a set amount of criteria. It's all laid out in the kit. Again, we encourage you to sign up for that. It's a nice promotion that goes along with that.
And then if you are looking for reps, IHA can certainly be a resource for you. We have Rep Connect, which is on our website, and this website would be the housewares.org website. You can go out on the website, and you see the website locations there, and it's searchable by multiple functions, whether it's product, geography, retail type, name. So again, if you're looking for a rep, we can be a resource. With that, Jenny, are there any questions?
We do have one. Will there be a recording of this webinar that can be rewatched later?
Yes, there will be a recording. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website within 24 hours. In addition to that, emails will be sent to everyone who signed up to this webinar with a link within the next 24 to 48 hours to this website for reference. So, if that is the only question, we want to thank you for participating today. There's a lot of things here that we think are very valuable to ensure success in your show. There will be future webinars. There'll be another webinar on this particular marketing kit on January 14th, as well as other webinars related to the show. So please look at the back of your marketing kit for that, which is also located on our website. You will see that, as I noted earlier, here's a reference to contact information. Please feel free at any time to reach out to any of us. If we can't answer your question directly, we'll find someone who can. On behalf of myself, as well as Debbie and Nancy and everyone here at IHA, have a great holiday and a successful show. Thank you.
Thank you.